Hello, this is just a quick review for Overpass 2 on the PS5. I played Overpass 1 when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it, but I thought there was things that were missing. Um, like just the way the vehicles handled and the graphics and stuff like that. I love the idea of the game where you had to do like assault courses and you got penalised if you fell off or if you went into the crowd or if you went over the cones. And they've continued that with this game, but you've got three different disciplines on this one. You did on the first one, but again with this one, you've got these buggies that you can see at the moment. Um, you get quads and you get the rock crawlers. These little buggies. It's all licensed vehicles like Suzuki and Polaris and stuff like that. You get all the proper stuff, um, and it's basically it's where you've got to hire staff. You've got to hire mechanics and you hire meteorologists or meteorologists, people who look at the weather and I mean geologists who look at the rocks and the surfaces and stuff. They do research into that. You can get guys who do research for you, research your parts and stuff like that. Or you can get mechanics. So you basically got to build up a decent team. They'll all have like a 3-star rating. So obviously you want the best. You can send them into doing research into different parts of the vehicle, the tyres, the suspension, the engine and stuff like that, so you can research into better equipment. It does cost you money to do it, but you win money when you win stuff. So better members of staff and then you swap them out when you've got someone better, that kind of thing. So that's like a little element of it. You can change the colour when you of your vehicles when you go into the setup and stuff, but you need to know what suspension to use, what tires are best in the mud, because it makes a huge difference to the way your car handles or your vehicle. You get lots of oversteer if you've got the wrong tires on when you're in the mud than if you have the proper mud tires on. You get a lot more better control. So there's tactical elements of that because halfway through training, so you might need wet tires on and sacrifice, or 25% of the track might be tarmac and the rest might be sand. So what would you rather have? Tarmac tires or sand tires? So there's elements of tactics that you need to use in order to do a good race. But on this particular section, the gameplay you're watching now, it's like a special event where you get given a damaged vehicle where all your wheels are damaged. If you can see in the speedometer there, all the wheels are red, and you've just got to put in a decent lap time with a damaged bike. But there's like lots of little games and I would say there were side quests, because you've got your main competitions and then you've got these little weekend events that you can do. There you get sponsors like objectives.
Four, three,
Could be just
two, one,
get airtime for
go.
2 seconds, slide for 10. This is the rock crawlers, and if you notice, I was doing an experiment. If you notice, I've got the small little mud tires on, I think they are, and they're like normal size car tires. And if you look, the tires, I couldn't even get up this bank here. The tires, when look, you can lock your diff, you see underneath. You've got rear wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or differential locked. That's just your directions, left, down, or right. So you can change the differentials for the different terrain. You can do it on the fly. So if you want to go fast in a straight line, you do rear wheel drive. If you want a bit more control, you do 4-wheel drive. And if you want to rock crawl and go over obstacles, you lock your diffs so all the wheels are turning at the same time, and you get a lot better traction. But as you can see from the graphics, they're not the best. They were just like this in the other game, where it's sort of like a PC game that's been converted into into like console. Um, but see if I change to the different truck, I think now, and I put the different tires on because you get two trucks of each. So you get two quads, two rock bouncers, and you get two like ATVs or UTVs, whatever they're called. There, do you see? You get your UTV, your ATV, and then your rock crawlers. So try the same track again with the bigger tires,
5,
um,
4,
tires that are
3,
purpose built for
2,
rock crawling up
1,
concrete and rocks and
go.
shit like that. And if you see the difference in the performance, also the steering is a lot different. It handles completely different to what suspension and what tires you have. So like I said, you got to pay attention to that kind of stuff if you want to have a competitive edge. But if you see here, look, the right tires, and I just get straight up and over. So do you see how glitchy the graphics are? I got stuck on a rock there and it like flipped it. You do get times like that where your car like spazzes out and you start doing like dodgy stuff. But I think, like I said, it's just because of the game engine they're using, and I think this is their own game engine on this. It might be Unreal, I'm not sure. But the little rock crawling events are quite quick like that. Normally just like a minute long. This is when you're using the quad. The quads are quite hard because you can actually come off and flip it really easily. And like I said before, that if you haven't got the right tires on or the right suspension, then it doesn't like it's not very agile. You lose time penalty if you touch any of these cones. You get seconds added onto your overall time. So there's lots of different technical sections like this. I mean, in the main game, because this is just the tutorial, but in the main game, you do get sections like this where it's just cones, tires and rocks, but you're getting timed. So you've got to, it's that balance of getting in a fast time, but also not going so fast where you're going to come off and then cost yourself a time penalty because your rider come off the thing, or you went into the crowd, or you've hit some of them cones, or you've had to reset. I think you hold up on your directional pad and that resets it. But that reminds us, another good thing about this is you can change a lot of options. You can change like the dead zone in the acceleration, the sensitivity, all good stuff like that. So you really can tailor it to how much you want to use it. Because with the PS5, you've got the adaptive triggers, obviously. And another part of the course like this, you'll often come up to seesaw, like rocking tables like this, where it's telling you in the tutorial there that you have to wait until it hits the floor, then you move off. Because if you move off too early, you get a time penalty again. So it is like competition rules. You're working on a point system and you're working on time. Again, I've been given a damaged vehicle and I've got to just put in a lap time. You can see the progression bar at the side next to the minimap, and that shows you basically how far you've got to go. You can take all this stuff off. Like I said, it's very customizable. You can change all the hood. You can have absolutely nothing on or hood all on. It's up to you. But some of the tracks are quite long. You can race for like 12 minutes on one track. So it means like keeping your tires. You see how like your tires get damaged and you get real life like in real time damage. So your gearbox fucks up or your tires are too damaged, then you don't get any grip. You don't, your car doesn't perform the way it needs to. And if you're doing a big 12-minute lap, you're not going to put in a very good time. So you have to look after your vehicle. So some sections you have to go slow, some sections you have to put your foot down. That's the beauty of it. This race type is that it's all about driver skill. It's not necessarily about who's got the fastest vehicle or who's got the most powerful. It's about how good of a driver you are. And as you can see, the graphics are quite good. The sound's quite good. I'm sure it does use the Unreal Engine. You can change in the options to like ray tracing or performance or graphic frame rate. Like I said, it's very customizable, so that's why I think it came from the PC. Plus, you can sort of tell by the graphics that it's a PC game. But it's really enjoyable. I mean, if you like off-roading, which I do, It keeps it, you know, mixed up. You've got three different disciplines. Um, the quads are the hardest, I would say. I prefer the rock bouncers. They're my favourite type. But like I said, if you can just manage your team, make sure you've got some people researching parts all the time. Make sure that you use your skill tree, the points in your skill tree. I think you unlock 3 points at a time. So, you know, you can go in and you can buy things. It's only like 10% extra grip or 5% extra torque on all your vehicles and stuff like that. So it's like the skill tree, it is what it is. You get better prices, better relationships with your mechanics and stuff like that. You can lower the repair times and the research times. You know, just little perks like that. But I'm positive you could probably get through the whole game without even having to use the skill tree. You know, I wouldn't say it was very integral to the playthrough, but it is just handy to have that extra 10% grip or to have better prices or you get an extra mechanic slot. So you've got two mechanics instead of one. Just stuff like that you can use to your advantage. And also you can simulate your races. So if you've got a good team, you've got a decent vehicle, you don't actually have to race and do like a 12-minute race. You think, oh, I can't be bothered, it's too long. My vehicle's already damaged. I'm waiting for the other one to get repaired. If I damage it anymore, it might leave us short for the next race. I might not have a vehicle that can take part. So again, it comes to tactics, how you want to play. You don't have to play every weekend event. You can just skip them if you want, but you can also simulate them. So it's up to you. But I prefer to race. I mean, that's the whole point. I want to actually do the races. I don't want to simulate. But the option's there if you want it, which is good. In the different environments, the different tracks are quite good.
One,
You get a good
go.
variety of conditions. It rains, it's foggy. You can do it at night. Stuff like that. Plus, there's lots of different types of um, tracks. Like you can get quick hill climbs, like you seen last time, where it's only a minute long, or you can get ones like there where they're like this, where they're a lot more challenging to get around. Um, but like I said, it's all about preserving your vehicle, not getting any time penalties, trying to put the fastest time down. You know, it's like trying to balance all those different things. But like I said, if you like off-roading, then I think you definitely like this because even though the graphics do let it down a bit, you know, the way it glitches out and the way the controls, you know, sometimes glitch and you just think, oh, I wish they had polished it a bit more before they released it. But it's sufficient enough to have a good game. It doesn't really spoil it. I've never had a crash or anything like that yet. So if you like the look of this game, I think it's, well, I paid 30 quid, 32.50 I think I paid, but it's not that expensive. So if you want to try it out, I'll definitely give it a go. It's good fun and there's lots of hours of gameplay there. So yeah, that's it. See you there.